Hi everyone, we're going to sketch the graph of this polynomial. First, let's fill out some information. This polynomial is not in standard form, so what I'm going to do is just add up my multiplicities here. 1 plus 2 is 3, so my degree n equals 3. My end behavior we're going to discuss momentarily, but just know that this is an odd number, and my lead coefficient here is positive. So I'll be looking at that in just a moment. Now let's look at our x or y-intercept. That is when x is 0, which just equals 0. And my zeros are when y is 0. So let's let this be 0. That's your y. So this can be 0, and 8 minus 8 is 0. So you have two zeros, 0, 0. Anytime your y-intercept is 0, 0, so is your x-intercept. And then we have 8, 0. The maximum turning point is going to be 3 minus 1, which equals 2. And we're going to do this part, look at the intervals where our y is negative and positive after we graph. So now let's go back to our end behavior and discuss that. All right, so we have odd and positive. So our odd was actually 3. So we're looking at this little box in here, right in there. So the graph comparison is y equals x cubed. So it's something like this. All right. And we mainly need to look at this end pieces here. And all the end behavior is stating is what quadrants are you in. This is quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. We know quadrant 1 is positive, positive. And quadrant 3 is negative, negative here. And as x goes larger and larger from 0, gets larger and larger, my y values also get larger and larger. All right? So that means we're in quadrant 1. So that's this piece. All right? As our x values get smaller and smaller from 0, so do my y values. That just means we're in quadrant 3. So if you look at this, it kind of matches up. You have positive, positive. That means quadrant 1. And for this one, we have negative, negative. That means we're in quadrant 3. So we're going to graph this from left to right. So we're going to start in quadrant 3, and we're going to end in quadrant 1. So we have x and y intercept at 0, and also we have an x-intercept at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we do have multiplicity of 2 here, so that when we get to 8, since that's an even multiplicity, we can't cross the x-axis. So what this is going to look like is we're going to start, let's start right about here. We're just sketching the graph, even though we have a grid. So kind of come up in here. The midpoint between those two is 4. So if you want to plug in 4 and figure that out, you can. But this video is not about min and max. Now, we went through the 0 here because that's a multiplicity of 1. However, when we got to our 8, since that's a multiplicity of 2, we can only touch the x-axis. Then we have to make a U-turn and go back up. So that does satisfy our end behavior. And now the only thing else we have to do is look at the graph y equals 0. So we want to look at where y is greater than 0 on top of y equals 0, and where is y negative. So here, our y is our f of x. So where is f of x positive? Well, it's positive starting at 0 here and all the way to infinity. So 0 to infinity. And down here, where is my y or f of x negative? Well, that's this portion here. So that would be 0 to negative infinity, or negative infinity to 0. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.